Hey, good afternoon, good morning, folks, no matter where you are at in your corner of the world. I'm in my little corner here in the southeastern United States. We're just getting through spring. It's unofficially summer, actually. It's just the humidity starting to creep in. My morning runs here, starting to get a little soaked in the morning. I was enjoying not being soaked the last number of months here. So we're back at it again before you know it. It's summer. Today I have on the show, his name is John Galea. He is from the UK, has a great new single out called Don't Want to Die with this rapper who's very, very big in their community. His name's Ironic, spelled with a K on the end of it. So hope you enjoy this. I was just thinking the other day, kids with their technology nowadays, they got their phones, they're little they can go out with you anywhere. You can take kids out and they can entertain themselves with their little electronic devices. It's I think Dr. Phil said it the other day. I think it was on that Chris Wallace show, by the way, a little cheap plug. He was talking about how it seems like all of a sudden smartphones were just dropping in like from nowhere and it took over the world, which is true. Adults are pretty bad with this too. And I confess I can get into that way too, this fear of missing out and always having your smartphone with you no matter where. But kids these days, I kind of am jealous in that sense because I didn't have that option when I was a kid. Way back when I was a kid, we didn't have that. We didn't have anything to entertain us. Maybe you had those little, like if you go to Cracker Barrel now, you can play with those little game thingies, whatever that is, things to distract you while you're sitting there with your parents. And or in my case, it was my mother and her friend Bobby, who used to go to this place called the Harvest House Cafeteria, and I used to have to go there after seeing a movie with them that I didn't want to see, that was way over my head. And I would sit there after a movie and just listening to them talk about everything, and there was nothing there to distract me. So I think I started visualizing things, yeah, and playing music in my head. I think that was about the way I could do it. Usually it was a Billy Joel album that would be playing in my head. But yeah, you had to be creative back then. And these days, these kids, they're all lost in their smartphones and everything can distract them. So attention spans are going to be pretty much obsolete. I'm pretty sure of that. I was kind of worried about myself actually, but wow, this is like on adrenaline. So not so jealous of kids, but I am fearful for the future because they're going to be running the world and we're not, and we're going to have to depend on them, and they're not going to have attention spans. I don't know. Maybe AI is going to replace those. AI attention span readers. Maybe somehow that's going to happen. It's kind of depressing. I don't want to be depressing. Anyway, this has nothing to do with music. It has nothing to do with the arts, which this is all about. This episode has to do with a wonderful artist. Came out. He's a sensation there in the UK. And really download it wherever you can download it. It's called Don't Wanna, WANNA Die. Don't Want to Die. And danceable. Great. This should be in all the clubs. It's just a really great production. I really, really encourage you to check out his website. His last name is spelled Galea, John Galea. And he's out there. He's on all the socials. Check it out. What a gifted performer. Has a lot of danceable tunes on there, but the videos, if you check out his YouTube channel, he's got a lot of great videos as well. So enjoy. Hi, I can actually hear you. How are you doing this afternoon? You were in the UK?
Yeah, I'm good actually. I'm actually in Miami at the moment, actually.
Miami. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I was told that we would have to pay attention to the British time, but that's fantastic. Yeah, I was assuming London. I was like going to say, "Hey, how's the rain going over there?"
Well, I can still say that here, to be fair.
So why are you in Miami? Are you on some kind of tour at this moment?
No, just a little break.
Oh,
So
good.
I love Miami, so it's nice to get away to see it.
Really? Have you
Yeah,
been
yeah,
before?
absolutely. Yes, many times. Great. Love the city.
How did you
So
stumble on visiting Miami?
um I Well, I think I've been here two, three, four times, and I just love the whole vibe of it. It's just brilliant. So this time was like, okay, I needed a couple of days away, so ended up coming here. To be fair, which is good.
Yeah,
Apart
that's
from the
quite
weather, which obviously could be better, but what can you do? Bring the rain with me. That's what it was.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I know it's happening more on the East Coast at the moment. We're talking in late May of 2023. So yeah, which is very unusual that weather comes from the east. Usually it's from west to east. Most of the
Yeah.
time I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. So
Ah, okay.
which is very
Sweet.
nice and very unusual. We actually got a spring this year because usually we head straight into summer and as far as the feeling goes. And all of
Oh
a
wow.
sudden, wow, this is a really nice one. It's just nice, cooler mornings, so I'll take it. I'm not going to
Yeah, do,
complain.
do. Take what you can.
That heat because we're so landlocked here. It's
Yeah,
just it could be hot all the time. At least you get a breeze down in Miami. That's
that's true. That's true. Yeah, and the good views. Yeah, that's true.
so that's quite
Very lucky.
different from where you grew up. That's must be like, oh, this is totally opposite. I've never felt this before. So where did you grow up?
Well, ironically, not. Well, kind of. So originally, I grew up in a place called Great Yarmouth, which is a coastal town in the UK, in Norfolk. So it is a bit like Miami, except it's a whole lot more colder because you're by the
Yeah.
North Sea. Yeah. So slightly different. So I'm very aware of beach vibes and all that. It's just in a different context in the UK. You have layers and layers on instead of taking them off.
Which kind of like speaks to your I'm a Survivor video, which is on the
Oh
beach,
god,
you with the
yeah.
piano. So that's must be a peek into your life.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that was my original piano that I think I wrote the song on, and I've written many a song on that one. And that beach is where I grew up, so it was a very meaningful music video. To be fair, it was just a nightmare to get the piano, drag it across the sand. It was an experience. I don't think I'll be repeating anytime soon. To be fair.
It's like, how did you do that? It's like just fascinating just seeing that. So you must have had a whole crew, or it's just like you and
Yeah, there
one.
was like three or four of us. But the car or the truck got stuck in the middle of the sand at one point, so it was a bit of a nightmare. But we did manage. It did look good, and we managed to get the piano off the beach, which is half the battle. And it's currently residing very out of tune, may I add,
Oh
in my
no.
garage, which I suppose is good, really, to be fair, if you drag it halfway on the beach. But no, it's the idea of it was supposed to be very meaningful, and the way it came across, the way it was produced, it was fantastic. I really loved it. So yeah, experienced. Don't drag a piano down a beach.
That's the big lesson on that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
You didn't
definitely.
have to call a tow truck. Was it a crew? You just pushing the
No,
truck
no, I
out of
was
there.
fully involved. I think we all had to get involved at one stage.
That's what I call paying your dues in this business. It's like this isn't just about writing and singing and playing piano.
Absolutely not. Not as an independent artist. You're in all fields, writing, pushing pianos, everything. You name it. You name it. We're all involved.
So growing up there, how did you get involved in music? How did you discover it? Who did you discover first and were inspired by?
Well, songwriting really got me into it. Well, my dad brought home an electric organ one day when I was 13. He found free, and he brought it home, and I started plonking on the keys, and then taught myself how to play. Got some lessons, did the classical exams as you do, and then I realised that classical music wasn't particularly my thing. Well, I didn't have a love or a passion for it, but what I did have was for pop music and songs, and I really wanted to know how you write that hit record or that song that keeps lasting in your head. So I'd be listening to all the major songwriters and singers, Diane Warren, who I grew up with, Mariah Carey, soul singers and stuff, and really tried to craft and write songs as much as I can. And so did that a lot. Did a lot of performing as well. But yeah, it was just a constant performing thing, I guess, as I grew up, and musically songwriting was at the heart of it, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as writing goes, what inspired you? Did you read a lot of poems as far as coming up with your wordage? Because a lot of people who come up with melodies also have that
Struggle.
issue. Yeah, that struggle to just write lyrics. So, I mean, Elton John, one of your biggest people coming out of the UK, it's like I hate writing words. So
Yeah.
they paired
Bernie
him up
Taupin.
with somebody. Yeah, they
Bernie's amazing.
smart idea.
Yeah. well, ironically, it's listening to other artists and the like the like Mariah Carey, for example, she wrote all from her experience. So from that point, I delved deeper into my own journey, and that's why practically every song I write now is based upon an experience or an emotion. And so once I got to that niche of how finding a story within myself and bringing it out, it kind of, the words kind of came easily and it flowed. But yeah, I mean, it's some days are easier than others, as songwriters will tell you, and you kind of have to plow through those days, and
Yeah.
you've got literally nothing in your head. So, but if that happens, and I like writing for other artists, so then I put my other artist hat on and be like, well, if I was this artist, what would I be writing about? And that kind of gets you flowing. And so there are ways around it. To be fair, there are ways around it, but yeah, for once I got into the story bit, I think writing lyrics just flowed with the melody. Yeah, in that sense, I'm very lucky in that sense. But no
Yeah.
poems, nothing like that. I mean, I think I did English literature A level, but I'm not sure how much of that was helpful. But yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
just
great
from
that
personal
Elton had
experience.
50% of the work. Done. It's like,
Yeah, to
yeah, just have to
be
really,
fair, yeah, the music's pretty good though. To be fair, so you didn't need to worry about that.
that's how you get a very big catalog. You just find somebody who can write these words for you. And nothing worse than seeing like a blank page. Like, oh gosh, I know that as a
Yeah.
writer.
Yeah, or you start a session with another musicians and you've got literally nothing coming out, and it's like banging your head against a brick wall. Or if the chemistry doesn't work, because I love writing with other artists as well, but sometimes you're in a session and it just doesn't work, and it's not their fault, it's not your fault. It doesn't it just doesn't work. So yeah, it's when it does flow, it's a lovely feeling when you've got something to and it's like yeah.
So growing up, going through school, where did you go to school in that area, and how
So
did that
again in
work?
Norfolk, Norwich, Great Yarmouth in east of the UK, and I knew that to pursue music, commercial and pop music, that it was very limited there. So at age 19, I moved to London and started gigging and doing the singer-songwriter vibes, and played some interesting venues, not so nice venues as you do, grafting, yeah, and try to get music out there as much as possible and write for as many people as well, and just pay your dues as a musician along the way and learn as well.
Yeah, no shortage of places to gig. I did a pub crawl there. It's like I'm sure
Ah,
if you're
yeah,
playing in those kind of places and these
you know
people
what it's like
get a few
that.
pints in them, yikes. I'm
Oh yeah,
sure.
I'll never forget. I played. No one told me. I played one venue, and it was hard rock metal night. And my music is not really hard rock metal. No. So
No.
there's this very poppy music that I played, but they loved it. They still I was just amazed. I thought I'd be eaten up on stage, but they ended up singing along, and it was another one of those tick of the box experiences that I'll never forget. About having these hard rockers sing along to a dancey pop music. But no, so yeah, I've had them experiences when I moved to London, definitely, definitely. But it's
What
all
was it?
it's all
Yeah, that must be amazing to be in
cool.
London and just like doing that at a young age.
Yeah, it's exciting, and unfortunately now a lot of those kind of venues are closing in London. But back in the day, there's so many, which was so good, and they were so supportive of independent musicians like myself. So no, it's very fun and exciting, very fun.
Yeah. So do you remember your first performance? Like, did you have those jitters when you were facing a crowd for the first time?
I still have them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still
And
get
it's
them,
funny,
but
yeah.
yeah,
And people have their rituals like before they're getting on stage to deal with that. Do you have something like that that gets you going?
no, not really. Try to remember the words as much as possible. I think the big thing is,
Don't forget
but
the lyrics.
yeah, that's always a good one. But no, I don't think of major rituals. I know some people have, the Hail Marys and the crosses and the bits and pieces, but no, I don't. I don't. I do get stage fright though, which I guess it's normal. It's part of the excitement of being on stage and gives you that extra buzz, I guess. But it can be scary. Can be scary. As long as
I
the
think,
words, I remember the words, and
yeah.
I'm in key. I'm quite happy with it. To be fair.
I think as your catalog gets bigger, though, that's why you need the teleprompter. Like a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
that's
these, like,
true. Actually, as you get older as well, you forget even more, or you just make them up, and then the
yeah,
audience go,
which
"That's not the right lyric."
some of them are pretty good about that too. I remember seeing Elton John once, and it was in Benny and the Jets. I don't know if he was doing that on purpose. He said Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It's like what? Okay, because they're such professionals. It's like they could just like have words come straight to them.
Yeah, no, amazing. There are some fun experiences, I tell you, on stage. I've had over the years.
No
Um,
doubt, no doubt. So your recording career is now what, a dozen years old now, or more than that?
yeah, so I released my first promo single as an artist about 10 years ago. My goodness, could do it my way. And I just, I remember putting that out and doing the music videos and getting creative. But yeah, that was about 10 years. And we've had 5 EPs since. I've never released an album yet, although it's ready to go. And we're looking to release another EP, the sixth one, which will probably be my last EP before I release an album this late this summer, I think. So, and that's where this new single "Don't Want to Die" comes from,
Yes,
which
the
features on the new EP.
new single out, just released as we speak. Hopefully
Yeah, it's
the
very
hit of
exciting.
the summer. Great new single with this rapper. Is he pretty big in the UK? Ironic.
Ironic, yeah, yeah. So he's had a few chart hits and stuff, and it just I felt the whole idea of the EP without giving the title away, which I don't think I've done that. Have I done that yet? Maybe. The whole
I don't think
EP
we have.
is basically 6 tracks of collaborations of different rappers and soul singers and stuff. So that was the idea of this one. So because I've collaborated with a few rappers before, a grime rapper called Scorcher, UK grime rapper, and then TJ Dreams, which is another rapper. So it just kind of made sense to get Ironic on Don't Wanna Die. And I've been sitting on this track for about four years over COVID and stuff, which obviously stopped a lot of people's processes. Um, and so yeah, it came together quite nicely. It was like, okay, it's time to release it, and let's go Ironic. Okay, cool. And he came in the studio, did his thing, which was really cool, and we shot a video for it, which is coming out very shortly. And yeah, it's people seem to like it, which is good. But it's about 4 other tracks on the EP that are coming out,
Yeah,
which are collaborations.
more people are doing EPs and singles more so than full albums. They're finding just because in the day and age of Spotify and all the streamers. So
Yeah, of course. It's
do you
easier
look?
to get them out.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's so much. I mean, the thing is though, like everybody could do it now. That's the whole thing about recording. It's like everybody can get a hold of this equipment. It's just, but it's the talent that really shines. And when you're looking at singles like this, it's a cut above, and that stands out very, very well. So this is a very personal song for you. Don't want to die.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a track about being addicted to a relationship that you just can't get rid of. You can't
Yeah.
let go. I think we've all been there, to be fair, in
Yeah.
some way or another.
Seriously.
And yeah, it's written about a past relationship, and it's yeah, it's a harder sound. It's a more of a because a lot of other songs weren't so in depth wise like this. So this is a new ball game for me in that sense, and I'm really happy how it came out. Again, especially with Ironic and his feature on it as well, because it just added it and lifted it to a new level. Um, but yeah, it is a personal song for me, to be fair.
Yeah, and that's you got to write what you know, and that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
shows in the final mix there. Yeah, definitely. So you get this down to the final mix, you complete the song, and then you got to do a video. How do you feel about that? Doing videos on top of your songs. Some artists, I think it's the older ones who are a little more cranky about that.
When they'd be like, "Oh, damn, I've got a video for it."
Yeah,
Maybe I'll turn into that artist
I always think of
eventually.
Sir Elton. If you ever saw Tantrums and Tiaras,
Yeah, yeah.
they're showing him having to do a music. You can just tell he was like complaining big time. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. But yeah, I think, younger artists, I think embrace that because that's all that, they've grown up with that.
Yeah, well, social media has changed everything. So I recently got myself onto TikTok I don't know if you're on TikTok. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I got myself onto that in COVID. The way that's changed, the video formatting means everything is so visual for people that I don't think an artist now can bring out a video and not think about that. And if that can elevate the track even more, then that's brilliant. So yeah, I actually quite like doing music videos. To be fair, I like the creative process of it and getting the script and the plot and all that because I just think it can really add to the song. And with this, I Don't Want to Die, I I love the idea of playing around with the idea of Romeo and Juliet. It's a classic love story, but then put it in an LGBTQ plus environment.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a proud
good.
bisexual artist. By visibility for me is very important to get message out. And so I was like, okay, let's stick that in the video and let's see what comes out. So where the video does really touch on that and kind of the Romeo and Juliet plot, and we were very blessed to be fair. A couple of months ago when we shot it, the weather it looks like we're in LA to be fair, and we're not. We're in London, but we were very blessed with the look of it. So the look and the visuals of it are, I think, take the song even, to another level, which is brilliant, fantastic, and that's exactly what the music video needs. And again, for social media platforms, it works really lovely as well. So it just adds to the promotion of it. But are you a fan of the music videos?
Oh yeah, very much. And I grew up on MTV and things like
I
that, so I always thought visually. So yeah, going back to the more creative ones, and then it really exploded when Thriller came out.
God, yeah, of course.
Basically a mini movie John Landis directed for Michael Jackson. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. So yeah, I think it really ties in. Then MTV itself had really changed quite a bit and got away from that. So now, with YouTube and TikTok and these things, I think it's kind of revived it in a different way. And it's very exciting. But I
Even
always
with
liked,
artists like
yeah,
Lady Gaga and stuff, she kind
yeah.
of made it again with the storytelling and had a vibe on it. So that kind of inspires you to be a bit more creative and think outside the box where you're going with it.
Oh,
It's
it totally
exciting.
does. Yeah. So you got some good ones. When you love someone, that's really just who's the
Again, yeah.
yeah, a great couple you have in there too. They must be actors that you had known that you got into
Yeah,
that.
so I think that the lead of there is a girl called Gemma Roten, and she's a soap actress from the UK. And she again she brought a real depth to her acting into that, which was lovely, and she's a lovely girl anyway. But again, that features the idea of bisexuality and bisexual plot line twists. But I wasn't involved in that one. But this one I'm going to be, so it's going to be fun. Again,
Yeah.
making it more personal on the journey. Again, very much based. Some of it's based loosely on my life as well. Again, so it's you got to write from where you know, right?
Oh,
So,
totally. Every
and
time.
the honesty and the truth comes through as well and connects the audience even more.
So Don't Want to Die is ironic in the video, or is
Yes, he is. Yep,
oh
he is
good.
indeed. Yep, enjoying the sunshine outside. Enjoying, yeah. No, he's definitely it. Which is great to have him be there and experience that. Again, it just gives it a different look and gives it a feel and a different vibe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It does. It gives it an extra tinge to it. I liked when Ludacris appeared on Fergie single
Oh
way
yeah,
back when. Yeah, it's just really does. It gives it another depth. It just definitely and it also draws in another audience too, which is very smart.
yeah, that's very true. Yeah, absolutely. And I love those crossovers. I love working with different artists. You can learn so much from different artists. The way the work ethic, or the way they tell a story themselves, how they rap, how they sing. I just love the creative process. Hence why I write for them as well, different artists if I can. If a song comes to me, I don't think it's right for me, I'll be like, who could that be for? And so we've done that over the time as well, which has been great. To hear
Are
other people
you
sing your songs.
are you under a special contract or record contract, or are you just considered independent at this point?
No, no, so just completely independent. It's not something I've ever ruled out. It's just that's how it's managed to go. I don't know if it's there are lots of pluses and there's lots of negatives. It's just how my journey's gone so far that it's been independent, which does mean I do have a lot more control over who I work with or when the track's out or what the what we're releasing, to be fair. But then the reach of being with a label is also obviously massive. They take it to another level if they want to. If they don't sit on you, sit on the album that I've heard they do with some artists. So yeah, it can be a double-edged sword, to be fair.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, would I sign to a major? Yes, I mean, depending on the deal, of course, but it'd have to be because I've been 10 years of being an independent artist and being very creative, very involved. That process would have to carry on. If not, I don't. I think it'd be a bit pointless and a bit soul destroying, to be fair. And that's the beauty of now. People can be an independent artist, which is great, and still do really amazingly well. So yeah,
Yeah, that's got to be so hard. And I always try to put myself in the shoes of those kind of people who go in there and they're major artists and they got to deal with A&R people
yeah,
telling them basically how to do their job anyway, because like
yeah,
it's gonna sell more if we do this. It's like that's
yeah.
got to be really rough as an artist.
Yeah, and that's great if they're in ours and people have experience in that and know what they're doing. But some in my experience don't, and so it's or have any musical knowledge in whatsoever. So yeah, that can be harder to swallow as an artist as well, I suppose.
So you've been with some great producers so far,
Yeah,
who've worked
amazing.
with some big names, Beluga Heights,
Yeah, they've been
definitely
great to us.
with
Yeah, yeah,
Britney Spears, Jason Derulo.
yeah. They've had amazing success. They've been brilliant.
Yeah, what's it like working with some of these legends? Basically, I mean, they
Yeah,
were little
it's a bit
geniuses at
scary.
this point.
It's a
Yeah, I
bit
bet it
scary in that
is.
sense, because you get in some cases sent that beat, and it's that you can hear it's that world famous beat that they've had numerous number ones over, and it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to bring to the table on it? And so that's if you're it's a little bit easier if you're not if you're working if you're not in the studio together to do that. But then if you're I've been in the studio working with these guys as well, and it's even more intimidating. It's like, oh my god, you have to come up with your best ideas. So that's why I'm always writing stuff. I'm always jotting down on my notebook and on my phone some ideas or melodies or riffs and stuff. So when I'm in put in that situation, you kind of like, oh, I've got this idea. That's always good.
So you come into the studio really well prepared, or are you making up lyrics as you go along in the studio, or maybe it's a little bit of both?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. It depends. I mean, you can write. I'm always prepared. I've got like a billion songs to write. Yeah,
Good.
I've got ideas
Yeah.
constantly. But when you're step in a studio with someone new and you want to start something fresh, sometimes you're right. It is nice to just have a complete blank page and be like, right, where are you coming from and where am I coming? Let's meet in the middle. Or like, what do you want to say today? How do you feel? You know, or a start of conversation or something like that. And that's a nice way of doing it as well. So, or they might just have a good idea that comes, and you'd be like, "Wow, that's an amazing riff" or whatever, and you go on a tangent there. So there's no formula, I guess. That's the beautiful creative side of music, I guess.
Do you go into very specialized studios and basically record in London? Is that where you are most of the time? And are
Yeah, I
these
wouldn't
like
say specialized, but yeah, I mean, I've always got a mic and it's one of those
mic and a
studio
piano
setups.
and that's it?
Yeah, yeah, no. Often I find it's the person behind. You can have all the fancy equipment, all the million knobs in the world on the deck, but if the person doesn't know how to use them, it's a bit pointless.
Yeah.
It looks lovely for an Instagram picture, but in reality, it ain't going to get you a result. So really, it's the producer behind them. It's the person with the creative mind that makes the track. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, so basically, yeah. Anyway, that's a microphone, a piano, and someone who knows what they're doing. I'm sorted.
Yeah, it's amazing how cheap you can go and how expensive you can go. And if you are
Yeah,
really expensive, what good is all of that if you
yeah,
can't use
exactly.
it correctly? Yeah,
But no, usually I work in North London with an amazing producer called Oscar Labruto, and he's worked with numerous UK artists, Rich 32, Wiley, and stuff. He's very accomplished, and yeah, we just from day one we kind of clicked, and we kind of knew where we were coming from each other. So that's the general setup for me. And then when I'm obviously session working elsewhere, it's working with different artists and different producers, and that keeps it fresh and current, which is great.
Yeah. So your songwriting goes back to 13. It's just saying that you
Yeah.
had won a contest. How do you feel about contests like that? It's just, it's a nice opportunity and everything, but I always kind of wonder about these contests. And the funniest thing is I was working on a production, we were covering the Eurovision
Oh yeah.
contest. I was watching that. I was like, "Oh my gosh." How do you feel about stuff like that?
I think there are a lot of positives and negatives. The positives obviously gives you a platform to push forward, and it gives a little reassurance that you're on the right track if you win it, or if you come close. So that's always good. Obviously, the negatives are reality. Mental health issues are coming to the forth. Um, it can be tough. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I saw these
Especially if you,
people. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm not really made for that. To be fair, I don't like the idea of someone coming destroying your TV for ratings. So
Yeah.
I've got issues with that from a creative point of view. So it's a bit like, oh, does necessary. But then again, the platforms are huge. So I don't know if you're happy to do that, if you know what you're signing up for, if if you if you win and get the supportive um support you need as an artist, that's great. But unfortunately, what we're learning, the media, all across, America, UK, everywhere, is that a lot of the artists aren't really getting the after support that they need as artists, and that's worrying, I think, as for realities. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, I think.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm watching this telecast. I think it went on for like 4 hours. I mean, they
Oh,
really
the
dragged.
Eurovision.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And the way that they cover it in the UK, it's like, you had four really good hosts, but they have these people off camera, like constantly making comments. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? I guess they like that in the UK. I'm like, this is so distracting.
Yeah, because in the UK they love to hate the Eurovision Song Contest. So there was an amazing host called Terry Wogan back in the day who used to make the most amazing comments, but very sarcastically. But
Yeah.
the UK ate that up. They loved it, and I don't know if they found it more entertaining than the show. To be fair.
I like
But
it's so snarky. I mean, the things they're
yeah,
saying, the winner, I think she was from Sweden and she's holding
yeah.
the trophy, and they're like, "Oh, don't drop it." I'm like, what is this? These people are like making these comments.
Well, yeah, well, I think it has been dropped to the bar. So, but yeah,
Gosh.
they do like to keep it entertaining. But the viewers of that, it's like what, 300 million. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
really gone global, which is crazy. It's just I think maybe the UK are the only ones with the the funny comments
Yeah. Oh
attached
my
to it.
gosh. They take like an hour to tabulate everything because so many countries are voting in that.
Yeah,
I found
yeah,
that to be amazing.
yeah. It never used to be like that. So I think it was 2000. They introduced the rest of the other countries. Before that, I think they shaved a couple of hours off of it before,
Gosh.
but now it's a little bit more intense. But again, I guess because it gives other countries the opportunity to shine and showcase, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, it's
So
just
much
you're there a
talent.
long time. You're there a
Yeah.
long,
They've
long
been doing
time.
it for ages. It's just,
And now
yeah.
and USA have got their version of it, haven't they? I
Yeah,
don't know how well
based,
that's going, or I think Michael Bolton did it and Kelly Clarkson, right?
yeah, a lot of them have become judges. So, all based on what was going on in the UK. Because you had
Yeah.
Pop Idol, we had American Idol now, got 25 years, it seems like. And
A new one's just been crowned as well,
yeah,
hasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's The
Yeah.
Voice. There's so many of these things. Different, America's Got Talent, and
Yeah.
I know Britain's Got Talent and all that. So yeah, it's they're really into that. I think it's cheap to produce those kind of shows. It's that's why you see a lot of them on these networks. It's just but some great stuff comes out of that. Some people who were wonderful, you don't hear from them for years. You wonder what happened to them. But it's interesting seeing that talent develop.
Definitely, definitely. And it's like I said with the aftercare, a lot of it isn't given, but if it is given, then it gives a chance for a voice to shine that you'd never probably have heard of before. To be fair,
Yeah.
so
It does. It does. Definitely. So yeah, and so how many you got a lot of music videos out there. Another one I came across, Hero Within You. That's
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
really, really nice. Just
Oh, bless you, thank
Hannah
you.
Long is your duet on that. Is she pretty big in the UK?
No, she's actually a very close friend of mine, who's like a trained opera singer from Norfolk. And she hadn't really done much recording before, or like on music videoing. So this was her first one, and I was like, I listened to the song, and I was like, I got like a crossover Il Divo vibes with it. I was like, it would be amazing to have
Yeah.
some kind of classical artist on here. I was like, oh, what about my friend? She'd be amazing. So I hit her up and like sent her the song, and she's like, oh my god, yeah, I'd love to do it. And so it was a kind of like a dream kind of thing. And this is all before COVID. And then we got the studio, did it, and her voice suited it really nicely. We did a music video in a beautiful church in central London. And I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's got like gold in it. It's
Yes.
beautiful, stunning
That
place.
stained
Uh,
glass is really nice.
yeah,
Oh,
and it's pretty old. And it was lovely to do. But then the COVID came down and everything stopped. And we're like, oh, so we didn't release it and we couldn't release it. And then we ended up releasing it during COVID, which was nice because then we gave the proceeds to the NHS for all their amazing hard work they did. And it was received really well, the song, which was even more, it's all about the timing in that sense. But no, it was lovely to do, and Hannah was love. Her voice really, I think, really matches it and really suits it quite nicely. And she had a whale of a time doing it, and it's lovely working with her. So again, writing with other people and working with other people, I do like it. It's nice.
yeah, yeah. You're finding, success on these charts and getting on Spotify streaming. So all these are just wonderful successes. You probably got many years ahead of you, I'm sure. So there will be
Fingers
a
crossed.
full album. Are you thinking of like making this more of like a concept full album in the future, or just whatever
And when
collection
you
you
say
can get?
making, it's been made, so it's ready to go in that sense. Yeah, it's much more of a body of work. So I wanted to make sure that with these, because the idea of like the EPs, like missing pages of scrapbook, was the idea they were like pages of the story, little snippets of what's to come. And so the album now, I wanted to make a full, you know, like a book almost, like the old school albums that had a
Good.
meaning behind it. You had a story. You listened to it from start to finish, and you got somewhere. So I think, fingers crossed, maybe one or two different songs, and we're done in that sense. So it's a case of when to release it, maybe next year, self-releasing, or maybe with a label. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It would be nice to get it out there ASAP, but I think this first EP collaboration will come out first, and then we'll go with that afterwards. But yeah, there are some probably one of my best songs on the new album, which I'm really proud to say, to be fair. So hopefully people like it.
That's a good
And
feeling.
also, it means more music videos,
Yeah,
more
yeah.
creative processes, more pianos on the beach. No, never
Yes,
again.
yes. Everybody needs that. Pianos on the beach. So,
We just
are
have to
you
stick on wheels to be easier.
now have you performed in the States very much since you're visiting and all that? Do you get out here and come to clubs here and get around the
No, I haven't
US?
performed, but I do go. I do visit a lot of clubs and places that are live music because I love again witnessing another artist perform and hearing different things. But it would be nice to perform in America. I think it'd be good to get a couple of dates, maybe early next year or something, crossover. Yeah, I mean it's always like I said, it's always scary performing, but it's there's nothing beats hearing an audience sing your words back to you. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
So
that is. That really
it's
is.
yeah, I have to do that. So yes, it's definitely on the cards. It'd be lovely to do.
Yeah, got some good songs out there. The video for Struggling, who's the dancer in that? This is a great single, Struggling. I really
Ah,
enjoyed that.
Victoria. So she was a professional dancer. I think the video people got that cast her. But yeah, she was phenomenal. She was fantastic. Certainly put. I didn't feel like I wanted to dance in it. I was thinking of me to
Makes
play.
you want to
I'll stick.
dance, yeah.
I'll stick behind the piano. It'll be fine. But no, that was really again. It was lovely, lovely fun music video shoot to do. Um, and wow, that's 2014, I think. My goodness, that was a
It's
14. Yeah,
amazing.
I think how time flies by. Eh? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but again, I really, really, I think that song was produced with the Monarch, which is they're an American production company. They're amazing guys. So no, yeah, it's got a lot back catalogue to perform and to remember the words.
You definitely, yes, yes, yeah. Bring the teleprompter with you. You're performing,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
I'm
definitely.
sure. I always wonder how, I know that words link up and everything, but I don't know how you could memorize even some of your biggest hits with some of these people. I'm always, it's like magic.
Yeah,
It
it
truly
is.
is.
I guess it just comes once you get the adrenaline going and you kind of, yeah, kind of all comes together, as they say.
Yeah, yeah. Well, best wishes to you. I really appreciate you
Oh, thank
stopping
you very
by.
much.
I
No,
really
thank you for
enjoyed it.
having me. It's been so much fun.
Take care and best wishes. Hopefully, we'll see you here all across America. You'll get to see more of America outside of Miami. I hope
Yeah.
you have seen a little bit more of the States so
Yes, I
far.
love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. I've been to a few places here, New York and San Fran and California. I love it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Vegas as well.
Oh, you've hit the big ones. Oh, Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's nothing
You
like
can't,
Las Vegas. Oh my
there really
gosh.
isn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is America in its strangest form, that's for sure.
That's one way of putting it.
But I love it. It's just,
Oh,
and the whole state of Nevada is just absolutely gorgeous. Once you get outside of Las Vegas, it's like, oh my gosh,
oh
it's
God,
just
yeah, the scenes are amazing. Yeah.
grand
But I
beauty.
need to explore more America. I need to go down more south and yeah, I'd love to. I'm a traveler at heart. I love it. And I'm a huge historian. So
Oh, good.
yeah,
Yeah. Could definitely
ab-
inspire you for writing music for sure.
absolutely. Stories, right?
Yes. Well, take care and thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Thank
Take
you. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you have a safe, good summer. I'll have a few more episodes out. I probably won't be producing as many as we head into the summer season, but have a great one and take care of yourselves, please.